It's not just Channel 2. As it turns out, other analog channels formerly held by ABS-CBN have already been farmed out and assigned to other companies. Why shouldn't the public vote for Bongbong Marcos? Vice President Leni Robredo says he's a liar. And speaking of Marcos Jr., he once again denies using illegal drugs and claims that it's only for the jobless. For those unvaccinated affected by the no vaccine, no ride policy, listen up. You still have less than 30 days to get yourselves inoculated. And after 6 months since its international release, the 9th installment of the Fast and the Furious finally makes its way to the Philippines. Fast, focused, and fearless. Here's everything you need to know to jumpstart your day. I'm Jess De Los Santos. The NTC's confirmation that ABS-CBN's former frequencies have been farmed out opens more questions than answers. For one, can ABS-CBN still reacquire those frequencies? Mobile journalist Pamela Vasquez gives us a front seat to the big story.
The National Telecommunications Commission confirmed it granted Manny Villar's Advanced Media Broadcasting System control over ABS-CBN's flagship Channel 2, but for test broadcast purposes only, effective until the 2023 deadline to turn off analog channels. It also gave AMBS provisional authority to operate digital frequency Channel 16 for 18 months. Advanced Media was acquired by Villar just last year through his company Planet Cable, which is now run by his son Paulo. It's been almost 2 years since ABS-CBN lost its franchise. Villar's daughter Camille, a sitting congresswoman, was one of those who voted against ABS-CBN. The NTC said that AMBS had been waiting for a digital TV frequency since 2006. But it's unclear how the commission vetted the firm's technical and financial qualifications, as the selection process wasn't made public. The memo shows it was cleared by the Department of Justice, where Villar's daughter-in-law works as an undersecretary, though there's no proof that she was involved. Still, former NTC Commissioner and DICT Undersecretary Eliseo Rio says there should have been a public hearing.
It is really up to the NTC Commissioner to come up with points, no? May public hearing yan and things like that. In fact, ABS-CBN can object on granting its, those frequencies, or anybody for that matter.
If, and this is a big if, ABS-CBN does secure a franchise under the next administration, does that mean they can still get back the same channels? Rio says it's still up to the NTC.
Kasi kung na-award na yung frequency na yon, wala na magawang ABS-CBN, no? But as of now, it is just a parang test lang, no? Whether the frequencies can be used efficiently by the new owner.
But what about applying for other frequencies?
Sa ngayon, walang available frequencies in Metro Manila area or most of the country. The only available broadcast frequencies are what used to be with ABS-CBN.
Meanwhile, the NTC also farmed out ABS-CBN's other digital channels. Channel 23 was given to Aliw Broadcasting Corporation, while Channel 43 was awarded to Suara Submedia Corporation or SMNI, which is owned by Duterte's advisor Pastor Apollo Kibuloy. Mobile journalist Pamela Vasquez, We Are One News.
The Justice Department confirmed that it issued the legal opinion that the NTC used as a basis for awarding frequencies to Villar's AMBS. But DOJ Chief State Counsel George Ortha II clarified that the opinion did not mention any particular parties. In an interview with The Big Story, Ortha said they simply gave the NTC a discussion of legal issues. Ortha said those issues merely pertained to the authority of the NTC to allocate available frequencies and grant provisional authorities. He added that NTC's request for a legal opinion mentioned no particular entities, so the DOJ did not even know which entity the frequencies will be assigned to. So ORTA said they only confirmed NTC's authority to assign those frequencies.
Yes, exactly. No, that's clearly one of the powers, or these two issues. No, clearly it's within the power of the NTC. Except that they have a memorandum circular issued sometime in 2014 that within Mega Manila, okay, they won't be issuing any more authority for those who apply for the digital terrestrial TV. No, so they wanted to clarify if, despite that circular, they can still allocate available frequencies. So that was essentially the issue there.
Here are the latest on the country's presidentiables. Vice President Leni Robredo said Filipinos should not vote for former Senator Bongbong Marcos as president because he is a liar and he does not show up during difficult moments. This was one of her answers when asked by Boy Abunda in a presidential interview why Filipinos should not vote for other aspirants. As for Manila Mayor Isko Moreno, Robredo said the official doesn't have a clear stance on several issues. Robredo, meanwhile, believes Senator Ping Lacson lacks experience in terms of groundwork. And for Senator Manny Pacquiao, she says being good is not enough for one to become president. Marcos Jr. denied using drugs, saying that kind of lifestyle is only for the jobless. In an interview held by DZRH, Marcos noted that he is a busy person and that taking drugs is only for those who have nothing to do. Meanwhile, in his interview with Boy Abunda, the former senator said his strategy for the war on drugs would be focused on rehabilitation, where addicts are treated like patients in need of a cure. Marcos also says that should he become president, he will focus on hunting down big-time drug dealers. Manila Mayor Isko Moreno says he has no problem with making his SALN public should he become president. During a press conference, Moreno notes that he has also already sent the latest copy of his SALN to the Office of the Ombudsman. Moreno earlier disclosed in an interview with Jessica Soho that he paid taxes to the BIR in relation to more than 50 million peso excess campaign funds back in the 2016 elections. He admitted that the money is now with him, insisting that there should be no problem since these were contributions from various donors. Yodi de Guzman says he will go after oligarchs if he becomes president, but notes that he will not copy the style of President Duterte. Speaking to Politics Scoop, the Labor leader said Duterte went against oligarchs only to make way for other oligarchs. De Guzman cited as example how Duterte allegedly played a hand on the ABS-CBN shutdown, which he believes was only to accommodate the Villars, who had just recently bought the network's former franchise. Now, heads up to those unvaccinated and partially unvaccinated. The government is giving you less than a month to complete your vaccinations. After this, authorities will begin to strictly implement the no vaccine, no ride policy. Mobile journalist Jacob Lazaro gives us a front seat to the big story.
The clock is ticking yet again for the unvaccinated.
In a joint statement issued on Wednesday, the Interior, Labor and Transportation Department said
The unvaccinated and partially vaccinated workers have 30 days left to access public transportation. Once this lapses, only the fully vaccinated can access PUVs.
We're giving people, especially the workers, an opportunity to get vaccinated or to complete their vaccination within a 30-day window. And after that, we will implement strictly already the policy in public transportation.
As for the exemptions to the policy made by DOLE, it will still be in place by February 25. This includes passengers with medical conditions, those getting or delivering essential goods, and those headed to vaccination sites. Interior Undersecretary Jonathan Malaya says the policy is meant to protect those not fully vaccinated and the healthcare system. But others have a different take. Trade Union Congress of the Philippines spokesman Alan Tanhusay says the policy is too coercive.
Ang laking perwisyo sa mga manggagawa at marami sa kanila ang hindi pinasakay.
Meanwhile, the president of the Integrated Bar of the Philippines says the policy violates a person's right to transportation. He adds that executive orders and local ordinances are not laws. Malaya, however, argues that local ordinances are laws. So long as it does not dispute national laws, then it is valid.
The national law is RA 11525 or the Vaccination Act. Ang nakalagay lang naman doon, vaccination card is not a requirement for education, employment, and similar government transaction. Yun lang. It's a clear list, no? And it does not include public transportation.
Mobile journalist Jacob Lazaro, we are One News.
The Octa Research Group believes that Metro Manila could drop to moderate risk level for COVID-19 by next week. Octa Research fellow Guido David confirmed this in an interview with 1PH's Sa Totoo Lang. David added that NCR could even further downgrade to low risk in another 2 weeks if the downtrend of COVID-19 cases in the metro continues. But other cities like Iloilo and Baguio are still considered under high risk.
There are some areas na high risk pa rin. May areas na that it's still considered a severe outbreak, kasama dyan Iloilo City and Baguio City kasi mataas yung cases nila. But these places I think are close to the peak. At least yung Baguio City mo baka magpi-peak na siya and possibly bababa na siya. Pero yun nga, iba-ibang situation. But most of the country siguro I could say na nasa high or very high risk. Most provinces in the country.
The latest installment in the Fast and the Furious franchise has hit select cinemas in the country. MJ Marfori with the report.
No matter how fast you are,
I am not to be compared to you.
no one outruns their past.
Buckle up, Fast and Furious fans. After over 6 months since its international debut, the 9th installment of the action film has finally gone full speed in the Philippines. Vin Diesel and the cast are back for some out-of-this-world scenes. F9 also marks the return of Justin Lin as director. Lin helmed the film's 3rd to 6th chapters.
Started off as this car, race movie with all these characters. And through the years, we've kind of acknowledged their evolution and their growth.
Also returning are cast members Michelle Rodriguez, Tyrese Gibson, and Sung Kang, among many others.
It was amazing to have this reunion again and being invited back and seeing your old friends again.
Making his debut in the franchise is John Cena, who plays as a skilled assassin.
It was a bit of a process, but the family is no joke, and that isn't just on screen, it's also off screen.
Fast and Furious is now showing in select Philippine cinemas. For News 5, MJ Marfori, we are One News.
And that's how the day is shaping up to be. Join us later at 9 a.m. as we monitor the day's biggest stories from sunrise to sundown. You can also catch One News on Signal Play. Register for a free account now at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I'm Jess De Los Santos. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe. Philippines, we are One News.